Guys, we're live with another edition of War Week Boxing Chats with our dear friend IOTBA, one half of the Spit Bucket, Mr. Corey Bradshaw, where we're going to talk about everything on the last crescendo. Guys, this is War Week Boxing. We got a lot in store for you guys. Stay tuned.
Vashon Holdings proudly presents War Week Radio Chats with ring announcer Joseph Herron.
Guys, welcome. Happy Friday evening to all of you guys. I hope you started your weekend off properly and are getting ready for all the fight festivities in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. It's been a strange fight week. Guys, to top it all off, we're going to be featuring the incomparable IOTBA, Corey Bradshaw. Corey, how are you doing, brother?
Man, Joseph, Smoking Joe Herron. What's popping, my guy? Shout out to everybody.
I tell you what, I'm excited, my friend. Are you excited for tomorrow?
Oh, man, I'm excited. Shout out to everybody who on War Week Boxing. Shout out to John Chargan. You know, where the name come from. Joseph, man, you the greatest, man.
Well, I tell you what, man, thank you, brother, for saying that. But all glory and honor to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
That's right.
Yes, sir. The God Most High, King of Kings, Prince of Peace.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
El Shaddai. And I tell you what, brother, we're going to end tonight with prayer because a lot of people in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia need it at this time. Oh, from what I've heard, a lot of people unhealthy, a lot of people coming down with the flu. But because the BBBFC have scratched Floyd Schofield Jr., as well as Daniel Dubois off the card, everyone is keeping quiet. They're not saying a damn thing. But I will say this. According to Iceman John Scully, who, a friend of mine, Brother James, reached out to him, and he told Brother James, no, we're fine. We don't have any flu symptoms. That's not good for Dimitri Bivol now, is it, Corey?
No, that's not good at all.
Your thoughts before we jump in on tonight's main event of the evening and talk about, a Martin Bakole that looks like he's entering his second trimester. Well, get your thoughts on the main event. In my opinion, or in your opinion, what does Dimitri Bivol have to do to win this fight, and can he win a decision over the aggressive-minded, hard-punching Arthur Beterbiev?
I think he can, but, I'm going with Arthur Beterbiev. But I think he can because there was a lot of people who thought Bivol won the first fight. If you look at the Conquer Box numbers, I know we can't go by that, but they give you a good reality of how the fight going. If you look at what he did, he had a lot of success in that last fight, right? But Beterbiev, he had success too, but he landed the harder shots, right, that won over the judges, and they won over me by giving him the decision last time, Joe. So what Bivol is going to have to do in this fight, we already know he's an excellent boxer from mid to long range, right? Excellent, right? He's an artist at that. But what Bivol is going to have to dig down deep, he is going to have to sit down on more of his punches and try to stay in the pocket and get them extra hard shots along with his boxing ability to get him this victory.
Yeah, I tell you what, guys, look. Corey, you're right. I mean, you could argue, and a lot of people have, that they believe Dimitri Bivol deserved to get the decision. And when they didn't, well, that was merited right there for an immediate rematch. And just a little over 4 months later, yeah, we're getting the rematch. It's a beautiful thing. Or it's actually a slightly less than 4 months since the first fight. And we're already getting the rematch. So credit to Turki Al-Sheikh. And he deserves a lot of credit for keeping this fight card together. Once again, it was revealed just a few days ago that Daniel Dubois came up ill, caught the bird flu, and was scratched, deemed unfeasible to fight. And once again, it's the BBBFC being as strict as they are, because let's just face it, in Texas, Corey, do you think Greg Alvarez would allow them to fight even with the flu? Yeah,
Absolutely, he would.
So the British Board of Control, they're a little more strict, guys. And so knowing this, yeah, everyone's keeping quiet about this, about their symptoms. They're like, screw that, I want to get paid. Because in boxing, unlike football or basketball, you don't get paid until you hear that bell ring. Until you make it to the fight, you don't get a dime. Right? You might get a free plane ride, free hotel stay, but you don't get that big paycheck. And so what does Turki Al-Sheikh do? Well, Ben Shalom reads the news, immediately reaches out to Sella and Turki Al-Sheikh, and strikes a deal within just a few hours, with Martin Bakole slated to make $600,000 for this fight, even though he is nowhere near fight shape, guys. Once again, before you talk about Martin Bakole steamrolling Joseph Parker, understand and ask yourself, why on earth did Joseph Parker take on this assignment so quickly? Corey, if you were Joseph Parker's trainer or manager, would you be okay with him taking on a healthy Martin Bakole on 2 days' notice?
Oh, absolutely, I would, because I would look at myself as putting in a hard training camp, and I would physically and confidently believe in myself that I'm more prepared for this fight than the guy Martin Bakole, who is one of the most feared heavyweights who couldn't get a shot on the planet. But I would just feel like my condition, my preparation to lead up to this moment will overcome anybody on a 2-day notice if I'm Joseph Parker.
Yeah, I tell you what. And once again, that's how a prize fighter thinks. And once again, your manager, your promoter, your advisor, your trainer, all of those guys on your team, they're supposed to be looking out for you on the business end of things. And I can guarantee you this, Andy Lee and his manager, Spencer, would have never agreed to this if they hadn't seen the Black Santa Claus, Martin Bakole, with only in just got into camp, right, for his fight against W.A.W. He had only been in camp for 2 weeks. And let's just face it, at the airport, when we saw that video of him at the airport, he looked like he was smuggling a midget into customs, right? So once again, guys, here's let's get right down to it, shall we?
Hey, we ain't ducking and dodging nobody. It's time for fact or fiction.
Thank you, Floyd. Appreciate that, brother. Hey, Floyd Mayweather, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Hold on real quick. Let's see. Where is number one? Oh, there it is. All right, brother. Number one, a 315-pound version of Martin Bakole will make Zhilei Zhang look like a 15-round fighter, gassing badly after round 3. Fact or fiction, Correa?
I would say fact, right? Because, like I say, preparation is everything. You know, he say he been in training camp for 2 weeks, but that's not believable to me, right? Because you know, if you could look at him, he really don't look like he been doing nothing, right? So I think that's fiction, right? I think that's fiction.
You think
I
it's
mean, I think that's
fiction?
fact. I think that's fact. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah, well, look. Guys,
I
look,
think his best.
we've already seen Martin Bakole, guys. Over 300 pounds. He doesn't look all that good. In fact, he's got one loss on his record. Right? As a result of that, him coming in grossly out of shape. How does he look, though, under 300 pounds, like he was just over 290 against Jared Anderson?
Yeah, he looked good.
Looked like a beast, didn't he?
Yeah.
Looked like he looked like the real juggernaut, not that shot fighter, Joe Joyce, right? And so, guys, he's going to resemble the late, great Corey the Sniper Sanders and be very dangerous for 3 rounds.
Yep.
So if you're Joseph Parker, would you actually engage and try to throw anything at Martin Bakole in the first 4 to 5 rounds?
I would pick and choose, like when to throw, you know, just to keep him honest, right? And to try to squeak out the rounds, but I wouldn't over preserve myself. I would build off in the later rounds and know this guy will gas out.
Yeah, honestly, man,
But with Martin Bakole, right, he is dangerous them first 3 rounds. And what we seen out of Joseph Parker before, sometimes he can let his ego get a little bit too big for him in that ring. And I hope he don't fall into that trap of Martin Bakole, because that guy does have serious power. Like you say, he may look like he got a midget in his stomach, but the first 3 rounds, he's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, look, for the first 3 rounds, guys, he's the most dangerous fighter in boxing next to Zhilei Zhang. But now they both have the same problem. 2 big lumbering guys that are, well, let's just face it, they're 5-6 round fighters, and that's when they're in shape. And now you've got Martin Bakole, who's 315. Yeah, guys, that's the real reason why Joseph Parker took this assignment. Let's just face it. Joseph Parker would fight Godzilla if it meant a healthy paycheck attached to it. It's not him, and I'm not implying anything about his mentality. He's a warrior. He's fearless, right? He thinks he could beat any dude's ass on any given day, or else he wouldn't be stepping in the ring, period. I'm not saying anything about his mentality. But his team, on the other hand, yeah, they're looking at the business aspect of this. They're like, yeah, no, dude, we would not take on this guy, Martin Bakole, on such short notice if he weren't so grossly out of shape. And they're going to use lateral movement. They're going to move in and out of range. They're going to bust him up with speed. And they're not going to take any serious risks until the back half of the fight. They're going to try to pick, prod, and poke at him, moving in and out of range, using his footwork as the foundation of his defense. And that's it for the first half of the fight. And once he starts sucking wind, when you see his mouth wide open, his big bulbous cranium, my goodness, did you see the size of his head, Gray?
Man, huge. And Joe, you know one thing too. Joseph Parker, he came in the heaviest he ever been in his career coming into this fight. He came in at 267. That's the heaviest he ever been in his career. But that still don't take the fact away that like he built himself up for this moment. He had an opportunity to train to be heavyweight champion again. And I just trust his conditioning, especially with Martin Bakole coming in here the size he is, Joe.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I tell you what, guys, we're going to take a look at the odds real quick. Now, you guys might be shocked. Even though Martin Bakole is 315 pounds. Guys, this is an even money fight on most race and sports books. Joseph Parker is only listed as a minus 175. With Martin Bakole a very live, plus 150. So how would you bet this? How would you bet this, my friend?
I would bet. So the thing is, like I say, but totally he is dangerous in the first 3 rounds, right? And with me looking at Batoli and knowing that, he ain't been getting to get the opportunity afforded to him right now, right? I know them first 3 rounds is going to be, he is going to be at his best, right? And Joseph Parker got the tendencies to leave his chin up where Martin Bakole could touch him. And Bakole was bragging on it earlier today on the interview where he said, yeah, the what made me confident to take this fight because Joseph Parker know how I did him when we were sparring. I know sparring and in the ring is two different things because you don't have no headgear, right? But I would bet on Batoli way. I would bet them first 3 rounds, even with the odds like that.
Well, I tell you what, I would bet, guys, and this is the War a Week boxing sexy bet for this fight, Bakole versus Parker, for the interim WBO title, whatever the hell that means. But this is the way I would bet, guys. A Joseph Parker decision, which sits at a plus 300, and that is straddled by a Martin Bakole stoppage within the first 5 rounds. And that yields on BetMGM a plus 800. Once again, guys, you're guaranteed to win money. Joseph Parker by decision, plus 300, straddled with a Bakole stoppage by the 5th round, which is a plus 800. That's how I would bet, guys. You cannot lose.
Yeah, that's some good odds.
That's a great strategy. Like I said, Parker decision, straddled with the Bakole knockout within 6. You can't lose, guys. That's our War Week boxing strategy, guys. Once again, bet responsibly. Hooray, your thoughts. Which fight do you want to go over next? Because I have to get this real quick.
Yeah, man, I want to talk about Israel Madrimov and Virgil Ortiz, right? Um, I think people think Israel Madrimov performance against Terrence Crawford was a fluke. You know, only people who would think that was a fluke is people who really don't pay attention to boxing, don't even know about boxing, don't even know the history of Israel Madrimov and know how much work he put in the amateurs, him being a medalist in the Olympics, and him able to get to where he was at now. And arguably, you could say that could have been a draw. People were saying Madrimov, people were saying Crawford, and I think that guy's for real. So, absolutely 100%. I'm ready for this Idris Majumov versus Virgil Ortiz fight, right? And like
Well,
my
I'll tell you what, let's do this right then. We've got one pulled up for.
Hey, we ain't ducking and dodging nobody. It's time for fact or fiction.
And so we're jumping all the way up to number 5, Correa. Are you ready, brother? Fact
I'm
or
ready.
fiction? Virgil Ortiz will shock the world and stop Israel Madrimov in the late to mid rounds. Fact or fiction, my friend?
Fiction. Virgil
Yeah.
Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz will not stop Israel Majumov late in the fight. Virgil Ortiz, I know styles make fights, and like I say, when I say when I give the guy the mantle in boxing, this is my guy Joseph Aaron, because he always tell me that styles make fights, correct? You can't just go off what you seen the guy do in the last fight. Styles make fights, yeah, and they do, and styles make this fight too. Um, I think that's fiction. I think Israel Madrimov will be the one getting a stoppage in the back end of the fight. I just think it's a lot of tendencies that we're seeing out of Virgil Ortiz now, especially since he came up to 154. I think Israel Madrimov is the more stronger fighter because he's been at that weight for a long time, and I don't think that was falsified, that performance y'all seen against him against Terrence Crawford. I think what that did was motivated him and his coach Joe Diaz for this moment because they know arguably they could have or should have won that fight or at least should have been a draw. It was no robbery, but that's what type of gasoline they got in them. That's what's going to bring that fire out of Madrimov tomorrow. And he's going to get this victory over Virgil Ortiz. Mark that.
Wow. I tell you what, we're going to take a look at the odds once again. And what do you know, guys? This is an even money fight as well on most racing sports books, especially since the announcement of the latest pandemic in Riyadh. Wow. It is Virgil Ortiz is listed as the slight betting favorite at minus 120. And Israel Madrimov listed as the very live plus 110. You know, I think that may be the closest odds I have seen in a long, long time. Correct.
Oh, no,
And you know what, dude, you honestly, man, I love this fight. And
me
so
too.
once again, go ahead.
No, me too. I think this is the fight, right? Because we know who both of these guys are. You know, that ain't me taking nothing away from Virgil Ortiz, but this is their moment, right? This is their moment where either they're going to sink or swim. And this is their moment that's going to catapult whoever win this fight to that next level to big opportunity. And I think this fight right here, besides Bivol and Beterbiev, I think this is the fight.
Yeah, you know what, brother? This very well may play out if both men are healthy. Virgil Ortiz looked great at the weigh-in. But Loss says this. Madrimov looked a little under the weather, brother. It wouldn't shock me if they were. You're going to hear, guys, at the post-fight presser that, well, many fighters are going to use that as an excuse because many people there, including people who aren't in the ring that are part of the event, have come down with the flu. But this is a great matchup, guys. And once again, this truly is going to be the theater of the unexpected. Who knows what's going to happen? So I don't even know how to bet on this one. Corey, I would suggest, guys, leaving this one alone.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be like, what do you always say about Forrest Gump?
Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
No, that's exactly. This is going to be the box of chocolates fight. You really don't know what you're going to get with this. So in my opinion, I would stay away from this one, far away from this one. This is all over the place, guys. And the odds makers know it. That's why the odds are almost even money, not even giving anyone really an advantage on this one. So I tell you what, Outlaw says, I'll be in Vegas tomorrow. Let's go money on Ortiz. Well, you know what? Just while you're saying that, if you're interested in a late round stoppage, all right, let's look at the round group betting, right? If you're looking at a round group bet for Israel Madrimov between a stoppage between 10 and 12, that yields a very enticing plus 1,400. That means if you just drop $50 on Izzy Madrimov for a late round championship round stoppage, that yields $700. And if you do the same with Virgil Ortiz, a championship round stoppage, $50 yields you the same at plus 1,400. That's $700, guys. You know what? That might be, the odds may be too good to pass up. I think I might actually do that. That sounds like a great strategy.
Yeah.
Plus 1,400, guys, by knockout in a championship round stoppage. That means if you get the knockout within 10, 11, and 12, you win. If you bet 1,000, $1,400. Happy Valentine's, guys.
Man, that's an early vacation.
That's what I'm
right
saying,
there, because
brother.
if you look at it, you could
That's what
bet
I'm
$50
saying, brother.
on each fight, on each one of them.
Yep.
Getting
Tell you
the
what,
stoppage.
man. And so, guys, look, let's go to this one, right? Number 3, Corey. Beterbiev will get appointed this weekend in Saudi Arabia, forcing a rubber match later this year with Dimitri Bivol leaving, and David Benavidez, who is going to be in attendance, once again out in the cold without a dance partner. Fact or fiction?
I'm gonna say fact on that. Even
Mm,
though I'm picking Baturbiev to win this fight, it's just too good to be true. I just think with the reaction of the last fight when the majority of the people was thinking Bivol won that fight, I just don't see how Baturbiev is going to be able to walk out here with a decision win. He's going to have to knock out Bivol, and we ain't seen Bivol ever get knocked out. So I say fact on that with Bivol, and it will be a rubber match.
you know what, brother? I think Beterbiev is going to win this fight more convincingly, but the judges are going to score this one in favor of Dmitry Bivol, and Bivol is going to win a split decision victory, forcing a rubber match. And here's another prediction. I think because of that, forcing the rubber match, I think David Benavidez is going to move up to cruiser and challenge Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez for his 2 titles at cruiser. How do you like that, brother?
I don't. Um, I don't. I think the American Monster and David Benavidez need to stay at 175 and just keep taking on challenges. David Benavidez is young. Like him taking his body up that much weight, right? When he not even in shape, and like I say, you can't always go by a fight. Every fighter body type not gonna look like that. But going up to cruiserweight, you know, 21 pounds, I don't care what walk around weight you be at, it's just going to be different. Like, this is the moment where David Benavidez needs to stay disciplined and wait for his opportunity, you know, so he can have his shining moment.
Yeah, I tell you what, guys. I really don't know what David Benavidez is going to do. I mean, like, honestly, unless he goes into our, well, let's see, what number is this here we're at, man? We're jumping all over the place tonight. So let's go to the number 8, unless he fights the winner of number 8. Correct. And that's
Yeah.
going to be the first major bout on the docket tomorrow, which, guys, I'm in Central Standard Time. I'm in San Antonio, Texas. Do you realize what time I'm going to go live? I'm going to go live at 11 a.m. The actual show time starts at 10 a.m. my time. Corey, does it actually feel like big time boxing at 10 a.m. in the morning?
Well, the only reason why I'm going to say it feel like big time boxing for me tomorrow is because, you know, like football season is over.
Yeah.
And you know, waking up on a Saturday morning, you used to be anticipating football, college football, or just period. So I'm looking forward to waking up, being in the
Oh,
house. You know, if I wake up at 8 o'clock, 3 hours later, the fight come on. Now it's not gonna be that's for me the diehard boxing. We the 1%. Like this not for all the casuals. They're not gonna give a damn, right? Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But the 1% of the diehard boxing fans, like me, we gonna be ready for this.
oh boy, I tell you what, man. Uh, you know what? We'll get back to number 8. Let's jump to number 2, my friend. Fact or fiction, Corey? Because you brought something up. Even though the last crescendo is only $25 in the U.S. market, it will still only reach 50,000 purchases. Fact or fiction?
Fact, um, I think Turkey Al Sheikh, what he doing and for boxing and making the big fights is great, right? But Saudi Arabia, it ain't it for the real market, which is over here in America. Everyone around the world know we is the richest economy out there, and we are the ones who are going to be able to push the needle more than any other country on this planet, right? I love what Turkey Al Sheikh is doing. Thank you, Turkey. I look forward to watching this card in the morning. But it is a fact that it will only reach 50K purchases or less.
Oh, jeez. Oh my gosh. And you know what, guys? I'm sorry, and I'm gonna pick on someone, single someone out, and I'm doing this in jest. Don't take this seriously, my friend. I have the utmost respect for you. Guys, but I'm blaming it on Bruce. He's stealing it. Yeah. How you doing, Bruce? Good to see you, my
Bruce
friend. I hope you
Gas,
guys
what's
have
up,
fun
Bruce?
watching the fights. That's our brother Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz and more. Salute to you, my friend. Adam Early, welcome to the show, sir. He says, I'm betting Bakole. You know what, man? Hey, like I said, we already slated the betting strategy out for you guys to where you can't lose money if you straddle that bet. A Joseph Parker decision straight up, and then a Bakole stoppage in the first half of the fight. That yields plus 800. You can't lose, guys. You cannot lose. And Alberto, welcome to the show, sir. My partner in Christ. How you doing, my friend? He says, Joe, why is Bakole taking multiple flights to get to Saudi? Do they want him tired? Turkey should have put him on the private jet. Yeah, I have no idea, brother. But look, obviously this was a last-minute effort. So, although we're just fortunate that he's there. And let's just hope jet lag, as well as the added panzón empanadas, isn't too big of a factor in this, because we want to ultimately see a competitive fight. And Technique, well, with Joe, sir, he says, I got Parker. Bakole's a threat, though. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. But Adam, yep, 25 pounds is overweight, is pretty out of shape. Yep, and even for Bakole, he was already a lumbering heavyweight. Huge man. Now, add 25 pounds extra on him from his last fight. Yeah, says it all. And Jump Tube, welcome to the show, sir. Yes, that was his weight, guys. Oh, boy. Isn't that terrible? Lionel Watson, welcome to the show, sir. And he says, Bakole's going to run through Parker. Brother, I'm not sure Martin Bakole is capable of running through anything except maybe the Golden Corral buffet.
Hey, but that would be great, though. That'll be a story. That'll be a headline.
There
if
it
Bakole
is.
can pull it off.
There it is, guys. And Oscar Mustang has the beat. He's picking Parker, too. Like I said, guys, I'm not even – my strategies here, if I recommend you guys betting, or if I'm trying to devise a betting strategy for you guys, it's going to be to where you make money regardless of what happens. Because honestly, this, with everything I know about what's going on, people getting sick, you're going to find out all about it, guys, after the event. But honestly, expect anything from this card. Don't be shocked if there are multiple upsets here, especially with how competitive this was slated, right?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Yeah, man.
I can't wait till we get back to number 8.
Oh, we're getting there. Outlaw says, got so many bets for tomorrow. It's ridiculous. Well, just bet responsibly, my friend. And once again, remember the old saying in this business. If you sweat it, then don't bet it.
Oh, I thought
Only bet it. Only bet money if you have it to play with, right, guys?
I thought you was gonna.
Don't use your son's college tuition, and don't mortgage the house, right? Just unless you have it to play with, don't bet it, guys. And that's an old saying in boxing. If you sweat it, don't bet it.
I thought you was gonna say, if it don't fit, you must have quit.
Yeah. Oh, Chingao, dude. Yeah, I have a feeling that's what we're going to be saying about Nancy Pelosi later this year. Oh!
Get her out of her.
Let's go back to number 8, my friend. Fact or fiction, correct? Callum Smith will shock most diehard fans and stop Joshua Buatsi.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now this is tough because when I look at Callum Smith, he's only lost to two top rated fighters in Beterbiev and Canelo, right? Now, when I look at Joshua, how you say his last name, Joe?
Buatsi.
Buatsi, when I look at him, he is all the goods and he is everything that is advertised about him, right? But he ain't been at this moment like this yet. So I don't know if he could swim or sink, right? So with me saying that, I got to say fact. I must go with the more experienced guy, the guy who's only lost to two top level fighters, right? And it didn't break him. So I'm going with Callum Smith, and I'm gonna say fact. He was shocked the diehard fans. Come on.
Wow. I tell you what, these are all great fights, guys. Like, honestly, I can't believe how good this card is, even with all of the cancellations. This is actually special. This is a truly special card, guys. Truly special. Wow. I'll tell you what, guys. Oh boy.
Tough, ain't it, Joe?
Yeah, honestly, this is amazing, dude. This is absolutely incredible. But guys, let's do this. We usually don't do this on this program with you, Corey, but let's do it today, okay? Special exemption because it's the Friday before the big fight.
Maybe, just maybe, it's time for Rick Glazer's Twitter watch. Bang!
Thank you, Teddy Atlas. I appreciate that, brother. We are going to share this, guys, and this was a tweet posted today at 5 p.m., right? Can you see that, Corey?
Kinda.
Okay, I'll read it for you. Get ready for Turkey Al Sheikh's February 22nd Riyadh season mega boxing event on DAZN pay-per-view for just $25.99 starting at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. The winning picks, and this is according to Rick Glazer, he's picking Arthur Beterbiev, Martin Bakole, Shakur Stevenson, Hamzat Shiraz, Virgil Ortiz, Agit Kabayel, and Joshua Buatsi. And he says, buy the DAZN pay-per-view, you cheap bastards. And there it is. And so what do you think about his picks, Corey?
I like them. I like them because you can't go wrong with these picks. I think them excellent picks, you really can't go wrong. It's not like you could crucify somebody for picking the wrong fighter because the only thing that you could crucify if somebody pick that Patley dude against Shakur Stevenson. Now that's when they need to be crucified. But every other fight on this card, right? It's a good fight to world. Either guy could really win. So I like his picks.
Yeah, I tell you what, man. This, like I said, it's hard to fault anybody, even if they get these wrong. These are truly 50-50 fights, right? Truly, all of them. The only one I would say that wasn't, the only two I would say that weren't, were Hamzat Shiraz versus Carlos Adames and Shakur Stevenson versus Josh Padley. But all the other ones, yeah, pick them.
Really? You think Hamza Shiraz is going to run through Carlos Adames like that, Joe?
No, he's not going to run through him, but he's going to stop him in the mid to late rounds. Hamza Shiraz, guys, is the real deal. And he has the sizable height and reach advantage. And we all know that Carlos Adames is a prolific counterpuncher by trade. He's not fond of taking the lead and can't fight on the inside. So he's going to be forced to be the assertive man because he's not going to be able to touch Hamzat Shiraz from mid to long range. So he's going to be forced to do something he's not fond of doing traditionally, and that's going to open himself up to have to take risks. Either that or he's going to stink out the joint and take a beating from mid to long range. Take your pick. But then he would lose his title for sure. So in my opinion, it's going to put him in a position where he has to take those calculated risks, has to take some chances, and Hamza Shiraz is going to make him pay for it. I like Hamza Shiraz big in the mid to late rounds.
Mm.
And there you have it. But guys, we're running out of time. We're already at 40 minutes in. Corey, is there anything that we didn't talk about that you'd like to address at this time, my friend?
Oh yeah, man. I like to address Floyd Schofield Sr. and Floyd Schofield Jr.
Oh boy.
Uh,
Oh boy.
I like to really address all the BS shenanigans, right? That they did for the past couple of years, leading up to this fight, right? And hey, people can say whatever they want to say, right? When you got an opportunity like this, in my opinion, the great ones, or if you're saying you're great, like when you have his daddy saying he's going to be the greatest fighter of all time, better than Muhammad Ali, better than Sugar Ray Robinson, better than Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns and Marvin Hagler, all put together, right? And then you do, and this happened right here, and you pull out of your biggest moment. Let's not just talk about that. We'll get back to that. Like this was a guy who said they jumped in his window and tore his passport books. Well, Floyd Senior, you telling me they just found your passport books? It wasn't about the jury or nothing else expensive you had in the house. They specifically got your passport books and tore them out. No, that ain't what happened. What happened was they didn't want to look at Shakur, right? He wanted to keep his son confident. He didn't want Shakur to be able to get in his head. Then he stated, um, they slashed his tires 4 times. Really? He said they slashed. Shakur Stevenson is sending people all the way to wherever they was to slash their tire 4 times. Really? Then he say, right, somebody called the police on them and told them they were housing illegal kids or something, and the SWAT team came and put guns all in their faces and handcuffed them and put them in the backseat of the car, and his PSTD start coming back to him. Really? Then he say they said they had cocaine in the car, but the tow truck driver said they couldn't have drove in this car because the engine is cold, and the police just let them go. Right? All BS. Them all the shenanigans, and also with him saying how they did Shakur, how they do Javante, how they did Devin Haney, and every other fighter that they could smear, right, leading up to this moment, right? But let's get back to when you're great. Remember, I say the great ones, right? Rain, sleet, or snow. The great ones are going to make it happen. You could go back to Michael Jordan having the flu in Game 7. That's what the great ones do. If you really like that, you can go to Dirk Nowitzki when LeBron James, that little piece of shit, and Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh was acting like Dirk was sick, and Dirk came through in that sick game and stunned their ass, right? You can go back to Muhammad Ali, right? When he in the fight with Sonny Liston and uh, uh, allegedly something was on the gloves. You know, if you look at it, you can clearly see Muhammad Ali couldn't see for 3 rounds, but he weathered his way through it, right? Now, when you want to be great and you've been talking about how you want to be great, you do anything, and especially when you got millions of dollars on the line. Like Antonio Tarver said too, he wouldn't give a damn if he was feeling sick as nothing. When you got a moment like this, you don't run from it, you run to it, right? And the way they embarrassed, right? People could talk about the sickness all you want, whatever. It don't matter. I'm talking about the shenanigans. That's what make it not believable. The way they embarrassed Oscar De La Hoya, the way they embarrassed Turkey Al Sheikh. Just imagine how detrimental that was for Oscar De La Hoya, fighter who been talking all this trash, him and his pops, to get off this fight, Think how detrimental that is to them, right? So this move right here, right, whether people think it's true or not, to me it's not believable, but whatever. This is right here is gonna put them back 100 times more than the opportunity they had tomorrow morning. This is going to soak in them for a long time.
Wow. I tell you what, that was a mouthful, brother. Wow. Yeah. And there it is, guys. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, brother. Look at this. Dominic, dude, just stop, Dominic. You sound like a damn fool. And I mean that with the utmost respect. Dude, you're making yourself look silly. Now, once again, why would Shakur want to poison a guy that's a 10-1 underdog going into the fight? Do you really think Shakur Stevenson thinks that he needs to poison somebody to beat him? Really? Dude, you sound like a damn fool and you claim to be in this business? You should be ashamed of yourself, man. Damn. Oh, and Outlaw has the beat. Schofield Sr. is a big problem. I hope Junior benches him and have his management and promoter guide him. Yes, he's got the best manager in the business, Mike Miller, the best attorney in boxing, and he's got the best promoter right now in the States, Golden Boy Promotions. They've been killing it, and they were the American Promoter of the Year, 2024. Gee, wow.
What do you think about this move, though, Joseph?
Honestly, I don't want to talk about it because I don't like it. And I agree with everyone who claims that, yeah, Schofield Jr. has to can and give the pink slip to his dad. Unfortunately, that's going to prove to be much more difficult than everyone thinks. So there it is, guys. We're going to bid everyone an excellent night because, look, we are going on the air in 12 hours, my friend. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, everybody, I'm about to go live because, I'm going to do my show. Please come over.
Go over right
to
now.
IOTBA.
IOTBA? Is that the channel? Not
IOTBA Boxing Talk.
Very good, guys. Go over, migrate over to continue this discussion with IOTBA, and I'm going to get some sleep because we've got a marathon 6-hour podcast tomorrow doing the fights live from Dave and Buster's. How do you like that? God bless you guys. And if you're in the San Antonio area, Dominic, why don't you show your face, reveal who you actually are, and come and say hi, man. I'll buy you a drink. So there it is, guys. But any parting shots except for, hey, guys, go over to IOTBA? Any parting shots?
No, I just want everybody to continue to support my guy Joseph here, man. I think he's the best in the business, and I look forward. Shout out to my guy James Gogi. I look forward to y'all breakdown on Sunday to hear his thoughts on the card. You know, he's one of the best in the business, and I just love hearing Gogi talk, man. Yeah, I can't wait for that, Joe.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys, let's go continue this conversation over at IOTBA. He's going to go live in about 2 to 3 minutes. So let's go over there, guys. In about 10 minutes, guys. So let's go over there. On behalf of IO, Mr. Corey Bradshaw, I'm Joseph Herron. Join us tomorrow, guys, but let's pick up where we left off on IO's channel in about 10 minutes. God bless all of you and be safe this Friday night.
Rod Vachon Holdings proudly presents War Week Radio Chats with ring announcer Joseph Herron.